Okay, so I've seen a lot of videos lately that are either AI is going to replace QA engineers or AI will never replace QA engineers. And honestly, both of these videos are missing the point because here's what's actually changed my day, not my job title, not my salary, my day. The stuff I used to do at 9 a.m., I now do at 9:07 a.m., and the stuff I used to do at 4 p.m. while completely brain dead, I don't have to do at all. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through a real QA engineer's day before AI became part of the workflow and after. Same tasks, same meetings, very different experience. Let's go. To make this a fair comparison, I'm keeping the scenario identical. Same type of company, same sprint setup, same 5 core tasks that almost every QA engineer deals with every single day. What I'm going to do is walk through each task twice. Here's what it looked like before AI tools were in the picture, and here's what it looks like now. I'll give you honest time estimates, honest pain points, and honest assessments of what actually got better versus what's just different. Because I want to be real with you, AI didn't fix everything. Some things are genuinely easier, some things just moved the friction somewhere else, and a couple things got worse before they got better. Okay, it's 9 a.m., stand up is in 30. You need to know what's in the sprint, what you're picking up today, and whether anything you tested yesterday is actually done or dev done. Before AI, this meant opening Jira, going through every ticket in the current sprint, reading through acceptance criteria that were written at different times by different people in different moods. Some tickets are 3 sentences, some are a wall of text with edge cases buried in comments from 3 weeks ago. You're taking notes by hand, trying to synthesize this into something you can talk about in a 15-minute stand-up without sounding like you just woke up. That process, realistically, took me 25 to 30 minutes on a complex sprint. On a simple one, maybe 15, but it was mentally expensive because it required context switching fast across a lot of different features. After AI, I paste the Sprintport export or copy the ticket descriptions into my AI tool and ask it to summarize the sprint, flag any tickets with ambiguous acceptance criteria, and highlight anything that does not have clear test exit criteria. And here's the part I didn't actually expect. The AI is really good at finding the gaps. It'll flag that a ticket says, user sees an error, but never specifies what the error message should say. That used to be something I'd catch during test case writing, usually after I'd already wasted time writing test cases for a behavior that wasn't fully defined. Now I catch it at 9 a.m., I flag it in stand-up, and the dev either clarifies it or we add a comment to the ticket before anyone writes a single test. That's a real time save, not because the summary, but because of the gap finding. Total time down from 25 to 30 minutes to about 8 to 10. Stand-up is better, I sound smarter, and the AI doesn't get any credit in the meeting. Such is life. Okay, this is the one. If you ask any QA engineer what AI actually changed in their day, most of them are going to say test case writing. And they're right, but not entirely for the reasons you think. Before AI, writing test cases for a medium complexity feature, say a checkout flow with a discount code field, would take me 2 to 3 hours. Not because I'm slow, because doing it right is genuinely hard. You have to hold the entire feature in your head, think through every path a user could take, think through every way the system could break, and then write it all down in a format that's actually useful for someone else to execute. After a couple years, you get faster, but you never get fast. And the honest truth is, the last 20% of test cases, the weird edge cases, the boundary values, those were always the ones I wrote when I was already mentally tired, which meant they were sometimes the weakest ones. With AI, I paste in the acceptance criteria, give it a prompt that specifies the format I want, and it gives me a first draft of 15 to 20 test cases in about 45 seconds. Now, here's what I need you to understand. I don't use those test cases. I use them as a starting point. I go through every single one, I delete the ones that are redundant or that don't match how the actual system works, and I add the ones that require domain knowledge the AI doesn't have, like the fact that our discount codes expire at midnight UTC and our users are mostly in EST, which means there's a window where a valid code throws an error. The AI would never know that. I do. What AI gave me is a scaffold. It takes me from a blank page to a 70% draft in under a minute. I spend my entire time on the 30% that actually requires my brain, not the 70% that's just pattern recognition from every feature I've ever tested before, down from 2 to 3 hours to 45 minutes to an hour. The test cases are also more comprehensive because the AI catches boundary value patterns I might have skipped when I was tired. Is it perfect? No. The AI sometimes writes test cases for behavior that contradicts the AC, or writes expected results that are vague. You have to read everything, but it's still faster than starting from zero. Now, if you want to learn more about AI and how AI-assisted testing can help accelerate your career, check out my best-selling AI course. You'll find the link in the description. Use coupon code SUBSCRIBER to save $5 on this course. Okay, I have to be honest with you on this one, because this is where a lot of AI change QA videos oversimplify. Regression testing before AI tools. If you are doing it manually, it was brutal. Hours of clicking through the same workflow you clicked through 100 times, checking that nothing broke, updating a spreadsheet. It's the kind of work that makes you question your career choices around 2 p.m. After AI, a lot of QA teams will tell you regression takes 20 minutes, and that's true. But here's the thing, that's not because of AI. That's because of test automation, and test automation existed before AI. What AI changed is how fast you can write automated scripts. If you're using Playwright, Selenium, or Cypress, AI can generate a first draft of a test script from a plain language description of what you want to test. That used to take a junior engineer a full day to write a solid suite. Now it's a couple of hours, including review. So the real story here is AI accelerated the path to automation. It lowered the skill floor for writing automated tests. And that means that more teams are actually automating the regression suites instead of keeping them manual because the cost of entry dropped. If your regression testing is still fully manual and you're not automating, AI isn't going to fix that directly. You need to decide to invest in automation first. AI just makes that investment cheaper and faster. For teams that are already automated, yes, your day looks very different. You're reviewing a CI run, not clicking through an app. And that's a fundamentally better use of your brain. This one genuinely surprised me. Before AI, bug investigation was a skill that took years to develop. You'd get a vague report, checkout is broken for some users, and your job was to be a detective. You'd dig through logs manually, try to reproduce it by guessing at the conditions, ping the dev team on Slack, wait for answers, try again. The difference between a good QA engineer and a great one was often just how fast they can isolate a bug, and that speed came from experience. Pattern recognition built over years of seeing familiar failures. After AI, I paste the log output directly into my AI tool and ask it to tell me what happened, what probably caused it, and what additional information would help confirm. And what I get back is usually a real solid first pass. It's not always right, but it almost always points me in the right direction faster than I would have gotten there myself. The example I showed on screen, that null pointer exception triggered specifically when the discount code field is empty and the user has saved a card, that's the kind of interaction bug that can take an hour to isolate manually. The AI flagged it in about 30 seconds on the log pattern. Now, I still had to verify it, I still had to reproduce it, confirm the conditions, write a detailed bug report, and add it to the regression suite so we never miss it again. AI didn't do that, but it cut my time to hypothesis from an hour to 5 minutes. For bug investigation specifically, this is the AI use case I didn't see coming and now can't imagine living without. It's the end of the day and you're tired. You tested things kind of worked, one thing didn't, and now you need to write a test summary that your PM and your dev lead will actually read and find useful. Before AI, honestly, end of day documentation was the thing everyone did worst. Not because QA engineers are bad writers, because by 5 p.m., the part of your brain that writes well is offline. You'd write something vague and call it done. Testing complete, one bug found, see Jira, cool, super useful, great artifact. After AI, I paste my test results, my bug report, and any notes I took during the day into the AI. Ask it to write a professional test summary, and I get a clean, structured document in about 20 seconds. I read it, fix the one thing I got subtly wrong, usually something about severity or context, and paste it into Confluence. The quality of my end-of-day documentation on my team went up significantly, not because we suddenly care more about documentation, because the cost of doing it well dropped to almost nothing. And here's why that matters. Good documentation is what gets QA taken seriously in retrospectives. When you can show we've tested 47 cases, 44 passed, 3 failed, here are the risks we flagged, and here's the sign-off recommendation. That's professional output. That's the kind of paper trail that builds trust with product and engineering leadership. AI made the boring part fast, so the professional part actually happens. But let's look at the scoreboard. Before AI, a full day of QA work for a mid-sprint feature push could realistically run 8 to 11 hours if you're doing everything properly. And most engineers weren't doing everything properly because they didn't have time. They were cutting corners on documentation, writing thinner test cases, spending less time on edge cases. After AI, that same set of tasks runs closer to 2 to 3 hours if automation is in place. And that right there is the key phrase. If automation is in place. AI is a multiplier. If you have good practices, good test coverage, and a CI pipeline, AI makes all of that faster and better. If you have a manual spreadsheet-based QA process and no automation, AI is going to help you write better bugs, and that's about it. So what do you do with the extra 6 hours a day? The QA engineers I know who are thriving right now are using that time to do things that always get deprioritized: exploratory testing, accessibility audits, performance testing reviews, building out test coverage in areas that have always been under-tested. They're sitting in more architecture conversations, and they're flagging risk earlier. The QA engineers who are struggling are using that time to do less QA and hoping nobody notices. And some of them are right. Nobody notices until something breaks in production. AI didn't change what good QA looks like. It changed how much time it takes to do the basics. What you do above that baseline is still on you. Here's where I land on all of this. AI didn't make QA easier. It made the repetitive, pattern-based parts of QA faster, and it freed up time for the parts that actually require a human: domain knowledge, exploratory thinking, asking about if the user does something weird, and understanding why a bug matters to a real person. If you're a QA engineer right now and you haven't started using AI tools in your workflow, you're not in danger of being replaced by AI. You're in danger of being slower than the person next to you who is using it. Start with one task: ticket review, test case drafting, bug log analysis. Pick one, try it for a week, and see what happens to your day. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of honest breakdown. I'm not here to hype AI or tell you it's going to take your job. I'm here to show you what it actually looks like when you use it. Drop a comment below. What part of your day has changed the most since you started using AI tools? I want to read those. See you next week.